Hey everybody, this is NJ here, the host of the NJ podcast. This is Significant Listen Saturdays, everybody. This is part of the Everyday series where we take an iconic figure from history, whether they're fictional, non-fictional. It doesn't matter because I believe there are great people that we can learn lessons from, and the more we learn, the better people we become because we can make better choices. And what better time to do this than on a Saturday when we're resting on the week or you're still grinding and all getting ready to start the next week. This is a good time for us to learn from other people. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about lessons we can learn from Alexander the Great. Lessons that we can learn from Alexander the Great. He was the Macedonian prince who became king at 20. He conquered most of the known world by his death at 32 years of age. He is widely regarded as the greatest military commander in history. 15 years and he never lost a battle. There are many lessons in life and leadership that we can learn from the originator of the Blitzkrieg tactic. His name is Alexander the Great, and here are some of the lessons that we can learn from him. The first lesson we can learn from Alexander is be apprenticed to a mentor. Be apprenticed to a mentor. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. Alexander was made great in no small part due to the role mentors played in his life. His own father, Phillip of Macedon, was a great king who taught him life lessons. In addition, Philip hired one of the greatest philosophers of his day, Aristotle, to mentor Alexander at age 13. After 3 years of tutelage, Aristotle's lessons had sunk in. Alexander didn't stop there, but actively pursued other mentors in his quest for learning. He even stopped his own conquest journey to have more conversations with his mentors. Alexander's greatness stemmed from having guidance from the world's best mentors from an early age. Mentors can guide us in what we don't know, shorten our learning curves, and keep us accountable to high standards. You cannot establish anything of great quality without mentorship. Be apprenticed to a mentor. The second lesson we can learn from Alexander the Great is never be satisfied. Never be satisfied. As he looked over the expanse of his domain, he wept because there was no more world left to conquer. Alexander had an impeccable and flawless military record. He went 12 years without losing a single battle, or 15 years without losing a single battle. He conquered all the known worlds. At his time of existence, there was not one person to whom Alexander's name was not known. This was a result of an insatiable hunger for more and lack of satisfaction. After each battle, victory, and innovation, Alexander always wanted more. The tale is told that when it seemed that he had conquered all there was, he wept in sorrow because he was always hungry for more. A very good way to lose and become irrelevant is to adopt an air of complacency. Once you are complacent, you stop growing, improving, learning, and stop reaching out for more. Many companies have fallen into this trap, and the result was oblivion. Be like Alexander and refuse to be satisfied. The next lesson we can learn from Alexander the Great is cherish the speed of implementation. Cherish the speed of implementation. How fast are you moving is more important than where you are. How fast you are moving is more important than where you are. Many accredit Nazi Germany for the military tactic called the Blitzkrieg. The Blitzkrieg is characterized by short, fast, and powerful attacks where the opponent is overwhelmed by speed. However, this tactic was first cultivated by Alexander the Great. He would meticulously plan a campaign, organize logistics, and execute the plan so fast that opponents were conquered before they could get their swords up. Those who constantly move swiftly and fast in a calculated way will be the ones who are agile, get things done quickly, and get ahead whilst others do not remain relevant. Do not be left behind, and cherish the speed of implementation. The next lesson we can learn from Alexander the Great is focus on the quality of leadership. Focus on the quality of leadership. I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Alexander always had a strong emphasis on appointing the strongest leaders and generals in the correct positions, never compromising on quality, whilst those he conquered focused on quantity of leadership. In a battle against Persia, his army was outnumbered 3-1. However, Alexander proved that quantity of men did not matter because his armies had the best leaders. Everything rises and falls on leadership. The better quality of leadership, the more probable your victory is. In John C. Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he relates the story of a conversation he had with a leadership expert. The leadership expert said that whenever they want to turn a company around, they would fire the CEO. The reason is that normally the poor performance of a company is a result of poor leadership. This is evident in the firing and return of Steve Jobs at Apple. You may have the best resources, but below par leadership will always lead to not always reaching the target. Focus on the quality of leadership. The next lesson that we can learn from Alexander the Great is talent and skill are important. Talent and skill are important. Without knowledge, skill cannot be focused. There is no replacement for great skills that stem from talent, and Alexander knew this. It is not enough to remain talented in one area, but talent needs to be cultivated and turned into skill. Skill is a result of dedicated and focused practice on your talents. Alexander knew that skill and innovation would lead to strategic advantage. Due to his focus on deployment of innovation and skills development, the reliance on the creativity of his engineers and mastery of logistics, his army was the most advanced of his time. In a world of increasing complexity and call for innovation, there is more dependence on skills cultivation and mastery. Talent and skills are important. The next and final lesson we will be covering about Alexander the Great that we can learn from him is focus on succession planning. Focus on succession planning. In the end, when it's over, all that matters is what you've done. Here is a lesson that can be learned from Alexander's failure. At the age of 32, after a campaign in Asia, Alexander died mysteriously. Some say he was poisoned, some say he fell sick, but he died mysteriously at the age of 22. The tragedy of his death was not that he died, but that he died without a clear and viable succession plan. I'll say that again. The tragedy of his death was not that he died, but that he died without a clear and viable succession plan. His kingdom was split amongst 4 generals and later deteriorated in power and notoriety. In business and life, those who are forward-thinking always think of a succession plan in order to build and continue their legacy. In contrast to Alexander, Genghis Khan, some say Chinggis Khan, had a succession plan where his kingdom remained in his family for over 150 years. The difference was that Genghis had identified heirs, trained them, and ensured they would be able to continue with his kingdom. Be sure to have a good succession plan. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Significant Lesson Saturdays, where we broke down key lessons that we could learn from the Macedonian prince who was king at 20 and he conquered the known world at 32. That is Alexander the Great. If you're interested in any books and merchandise, please head over to the website. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment, and hopefully you can go out there and enjoy your Saturday. The more that you learn, the better it is that you become, the better the quality of your life is, and the more set up you will be for your success. Go out there, enjoy your Saturday, and I will see you on the next episode.